When I'm traveling full-time while working full-time, I have one resource that I hold in higher regard than everything else, my co-working space. Today's video is the second part of a two-series video series on co-working. If you haven't seen the first one, click on the ugly guy up there. He should be talking with no audio coming out, and he'll tell you about how to find the perfect co-working space. If you've already seen that one, this video is going to be on how to succeed at a co-working space. So just because you found the perfect one doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to do great work. In this one, we're going to talk about, okay, we got a spot, now how do we kick ass? So here are 5 tips I have for succeeding at co-working. The first one is the most social of the group. It's go grab lunch with strangers. So I try to do this on my very first day at a co-working space. When it becomes noon or 1 o'clock, when people are about to go eat, I make it a point to go find someone I've never met and go grab lunch with them. And this has worked out really, really well for me because one of the biggest benefits of co-working spaces is that I meet my friends. It's where my friend groups come from when I'm traveling in a city I've never been to or frankly a country that I've never even been to. The co-working becomes the hub of that, the social hub. So I make it a point to go ask strangers out for lunch. And like honestly, 80% of the time, people say yes, even if they've never met me. And the reason for this is they're also looking to meet new people, and it's lunchtime, so they're hungry. Number 2 is something that's new to me, but has proved to have some big benefits. So as I mentioned, I'm currently working at a space in Saigon called Saigon Hub, and I met somebody named Thomas Howard. And Thomas, I met him because he sent out a message to everybody at the co-working space and he said, hey, I am going to do a 36-hour sprint of focused work. So I think it was something like 3 hours on, 15 minutes off, 3 hours back on, that kind of thing. And it worked out great. I met a bunch of people through it because, hey, I'm working, I need to focus. Turns out there's a bunch of other people who are working at this co-working space who also need to focus. And so it kind of helped us all bond together and keep each other accountable for it. And so in that way, Tom's hack, he was able to meet a bunch of people and I was as well. So it's something I plan on trying to host as I go forward to different co-working spaces. My third tip to succeeding at co-working is going to be a little scary for some of you, but it works really well and is really important. Give a free lecture on whatever it is that you're an expertise at. So I've done this multiple times and gone out and just talked about something maybe that was interesting that I learned that day, or given a lecture on whatever my expertise may be, if it's development or code or whatnot. And just give people free information. It turns out to be a really great way to establish yourself as an expert within the co-working space, so you can meet people that way and share resources, and just a great way to meet new people. My fourth tip is by far the nerdiest of the bunch, and that's actually why I like it a lot. It is donate books to the space. So if you have extra books while you're traveling, or even if you go out and buy some of your favorites, it's a really great conversation starter for people that you don't know. It helps you teach skills without you actually having to deliver them personally. Just getting a cheap book and then sharing it with people around the office. It creates a really great way to meet new people and to share your expertise. My last tip for succeeding at co-working is probably the most foolproof on the list. Bribe people with food. So if nothing else works, although I think the other 4 will work, feel free to bribe people with food. I've actually found this turns out to be really an interesting cultural experiment. So I've gone to places and tried to bribe people with donuts in countries where it turns out people don't really eat donuts. So I learned quickly that that doesn't work. Or I've gone to when I was in Argentina, bribing people with empanadas, and learned quickly where the best empanada place was and made a lot of friends in the process. So if nothing else works, bribe people with food. For me, it's worked every single time when I got the food right. Okay, well that is all the co-working tips that I have, but I'm sure that I'm missing some. There's a lot of people who work in co-working spaces. I've found co-working spaces in every major city that I've ever lived in or tried to work out of. So I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know in the comments below, what did I miss? You can make fun of me if I misspoke, which I'm sure happened many times in this video, or if there's just a key tip or a key location maybe you want to promote somewhere. Let me know, I want to hear your thoughts. I'd like this to be a discussion and something that can be ongoing.